Hi everybody, Jessie here from jessiebanks.com, and today we're doing a speed paint of Speedy Tilda from Magnolia Stamps. This is a silver black velvet size 4 brush. I don't have my palette in the screen, but I am using my Schminke Horadam Aquarelle 48 half pan watercolor set. I love them. I've used them enough now that once I get all caught up here, I have like 5 videos in queue for you guys that need to be voiced over. I know I've been horrible this summer, and I've kind of neglected you, but as soon as I get caught up this week on a bunch of things, I'm going to do a review video on them, and I'm going to compare them to a bunch of other watercolors that I have. And I know that these are a lot more money than the other watercolors I have, but it's just going to kind of give everybody, or not everybody, but it's going to give a few of you some options and why I decided to go with the watercolors that I ended up saving up for forever. I saved for 2 years in order to buy these because I buy stamps and I shouldn't buy stamps, but that's okay. Anyway, so I've mixed up a skin color here, and a lot of the time when I mix up my skin colors, it's maple yellow and magenta. Just to give you a rough idea of what I use, and we just slowly go in and start adding color. Oh, pardon me, sorry about that. You'll see that I wipe my brush off a lot on the piece of paper towel next to me. I keep my colors very, very light, and I layer them up slowly in order to get the depth of color and the variation of color. Lots of people use distress inks and they do a beautiful job. I cannot get distress inks and distress markers to work like some of these people on YouTube can, and I have tried and I have tried and I have tried and I fail miserably. But on the same note, when I do my watercoloring like on these guys and stuff, I end up with the rougher water edges and the imperfect blending between colors, and I love how watercolor dries and gets the darker edge around the outside as it dries itself and it moves, because as long as your paper is damp, your watercolor is moving. So I enjoy that look personally, which is probably why I fight so much with trying to achieve the look that others get with their distress inks. But this is what I like, and I really wish I could make it work like they did. See, and here I had done a little bit of light blue around the image and forgot to turn the camera on, and I go very, very slowly. There's like 5 or 6, sometimes 7 layers on the skin and things like that, just to build up the depth that I want, because I don't want it too dark, but I like having lots of contrast. If you guys have seen my Copic coloring, if you haven't, definitely check it out in the channel. There's lots of it. That is just that piece of paper that just went across. That's my swatch sheet. I've swatched every color in the order it is in the palette. You'll see more about that again in the future video once I get to it. So I just slowly pull that color in and darken the edges and darken my shadows where the light's not hitting. And it's a painstaking process. There was just over an hour of footage in this. By the time I finished, I had an hour of real-time footage, and I've sped it up to fit into what? I think it's just like right around 15 minutes this video will be when it's done. So I start with a blue, and if you guys have seen the finished image of this card on my blog or anything like that, you know the bike ends up being more of a greeny tone. But it's, like I said, it's a slow process. This is definitely not a fast medium. It's about the same speed that I work with colored pencil. If I'm in a hurry with anything, I'll use my Copics. I love the way my Copics blend, don't get me wrong. I adore my markers. I would not trade them for the world. But when I'm in a hurry, or I'm on a tight deadline, or I've been procrastinating for days and haven't done anything like I'm sitting at right now while I record this narration and should probably be making cards, I'll use my Copics then too, because I can color an image in 15 minutes instead of 2 hours or an hour and a half or whatever. But I enjoy playing with all the different mediums, and I just like anything that has pigment and color in it, and that makes me happy. Yay! So now we've added I'm adding some black and some yellow here, and this bike is slowly starting to turn more of a greeny, vintagey-esque tone. When I finish the card, I use a Prima paper pad, so that's why she ended up going more on the vintagey side instead of bright, like I've done with some other Tildas. And I had to buy this image. I hunted for this image and then I got it, and you can pick it up at Quick Creations. I know Noelle has it in stock, and I'll have that link in the description box below. As long as I remember to put it there, fingers crossed. Because sometimes I say things will be there and they're not, and I'm sorry. I also say I'll make videos, and sometimes I don't do that either, so yeah. So now that the skin's dry, I'm going in and I'm darkening it up again some more. I make sure to give all of... Oh look, my pink glasses are in the way, sorry. I make sure to let all of my layers, I try and let them dry before I add anything else. Because like I said, as long as that's still damp, that pigment and that paint is still moving in the paper. So until it's dry, it's not finished doing its thing. What else do I have coming for you guys? I have Saturated Canary image recorded. I have an image for Little Darling Rubber Stamps recorded. I have a CC Designs image recorded. There's one other one that I don't know offhand. That's coming for you guys too. So hopefully I'll get another one of those up here beginning of next week, and you'll get to see more. Winter's coming. You'll get more videos in winter because I don't like to leave my house in the wintertime because I don't like being cold. And if you didn't know, I live in Saskatchewan and it gets to be like minus 40 is a very degrees Celsius, so minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit because it's the same thing. But it's a very real thing where I live. It happens. So I'm carrying on here. I'm starting to add some color to her dress. I normally would have liked to have put the palette and things in the camera, but then you guys don't get as close of an image as the coloring, so it's kind of like a give and take. I'm not sure if you really want to see what colors I'm using as I'm using them, and not have the image be as large on the computer screen or on your phone or whatever device you are watching my YouTube video on. If that's something you'd be interested in, I can definitely do that. It's just you won't get as much detail on the image, and these images are rather small, as you can see with my hand and stuff in the picture there. So if you guys would like to see it the other way, definitely let me know. So now I'm starting to pull some of these colors outside of the image. When I do things that are vintagey, I really like to do this in the background, where, especially with watercolor, because it can get all splotty and messy and pretty, and I love it. I love it. But I like to take colors that I've used in the image and put them in the background, instead of introducing colors that aren't there. I just think it's a real nice little touch, and it finishes the background and makes everything kind of blend together and look a little more old and shabby and vintagey, and it just makes me happy. And that's what this hobby is about, right? You're supposed to be happy when you're done. I'm not sure what I'm doing. Oh, I'm probably mixing a color right now. That's what I would be doing. So we're about halfway through her now, and I'm adding to her polka dots in her headband that I forgot the first time. And now I'm going in with some more blue on the outside of the image, just to make it look a little more sky-like and not... So I'll slowly blend that out and just keep working on it. I know I get lots of people that see my watercolor stuff and they'll send me a message and go, I can't get mine to work like that. I've been messing around with it for the last half an hour, and I'm going, well, it takes me like a minimum of an hour. So to do something like this, just take your time and go very, very slow. And don't expect it to happen in 10 minutes, because it's not going to. If it could, I would watercolor everything, and it doesn't, so I don't. Although I can't, because I have, yeah, I'm not sure where that train of thought was going. So I'm adding a little more color to her hair here so that it doesn't look quite so washed out against everything else. And what's left? Oh, there's quite a bit left. I still got like 5 minutes of stuff left. I have no idea, you guys. I have no idea what to babble about. Like I said, I haven't been around much, so I really don't know what to talk about again. That's the downfall, is I finally get comfortable speaking, like, to you guys on YouTube. So it's like talking to myself in my living room and my cat looks at me like I'm crazy. And then life gets busy and summer gets in the way, or whatever happens, and I don't record for a month or so. And then I'm all awkward again, and I'm sorry for being awkward. And I really should mute my computer so you guys don't have to hear Facebook dinging in the background. The nice thing about these Tilda images too is they give you lots of artist drawn lines of where the bends and folds and creases in the hair is, which allows you to easily map out where your shadows and highlights are going to be and where the darker points in the hair should be. So now I'm going in again and I'm just adding a little bit more depth and color to her dress. And every time I add a little more color and stuff like that, I don't pull it out as far as I did the last time, because I don't want it to end up one solid color with no shading or anything in it. That's the yay part of these little tiny brushes is, well, they're not super tiny, it's a size 4, but it comes to a beautiful point. A beautiful point. There's children yelling outside. I wonder if you guys can hear that. If you cannot, sorry. Now I go in and I do the tire, and this tire ends up getting pretty dark. It takes a few layers, and I'm definitely not light-handed on the color like I am most other places. I try and get it fairly black anyway, if I remember correctly. I don't have the card in front of me at the moment. So adding some more black shading to the bike just to get that depth of field to push those fenders? No, the fender's the front piece. I don't know what it is. The side pieces of the scooter there to look like they're behind the fender. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm just not sure what the part's called. A little bit of gray to the handlebars to make them look steel. Steel-ish anyway. Aluminum. This image is so fabulous. So fab. I'm going to have to do it again. And I'll probably, I don't know, maybe I'll do it in colored pencil and record that too. I make no promises, but I need to start using my images more than once, and I love this one. Speedy Tilda is so great. And definitely, if you pop over to Quick Creations to pick her up, take a look around. Noelle has a ton of Tilda images, and I'm a Tilda junkie, so don't buy them all, because there's still some I need. What do we got left here? Oh, a little bit of black in the dress. I do that a lot too. I always forget to mention that. I tend to go through at the end and add just that tiny little black, or I'll use a Payne's gray or a neutral gray. It all depends on the day. They all do the same thing with the amount I add. And I just add that tiny little bit of it just to kind of, honestly, it's to dirty up the image. It's to make it not be quite so crisp and clean and bright. And now I've grabbed a smaller brush yet to add some more detail into the hair so that I don't get too thick and I can add some individual strands like I do when I blend with my Copics. And I think that pretty much finishes it off. So definitely check the description box below for links to everything. My blog link will be down there as well. I would love for you to like, comment, and subscribe. Any questions, any requests, anything like that, leave them in the description box below. I will get back to you. And I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.